Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rocky Mountain Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you all for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A or question and answer button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for more. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/RMACAC. Thank you all. I would now like to turn it over to our presenters. And first up, we have the University of Melbourne. Jen, whenever you're ready to go for it.
Bonjour, my name is Jen Boucher. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for the American University of Paris. AUP is a private, urban, liberal arts university. We are located in the heart of Paris, France, in the same neighborhood, the 7th arrondissement, as the Eiffel Tower. We're an American university just located in Paris, France. We have over 1,000 students, but they come from 100 countries. So no matter what class you're in, you're going to gain very different perspectives that are not only based on students' research, but also based on their backgrounds, beliefs, their upbringing, what makes them who they are today. 16 is the average class size. 9:1 is the student to professor ratio, and all the classes are taught in English. Just like our students, the faculty come from all over the world, about 30 countries, and 70% speak 3 or more languages. We have 26 majors and 39 minors in the fields of business, politics, communications, arts, and humanities, with an international emphasis. We're focused on experiential learning and interdisciplinary education, so you'll find that many of the classes go across different disciplines or even take you out into the city to explore. As you know, we are in Paris, France, the 7th arrondissement, the same neighborhood as the Eiffel Tower. These are the campus buildings that are woven right into the city. So we are surrounded by various businesses, cafes, restaurants, apartments, and museums all over this area. Again, truly woven right in an open urban campus view, I should say. We have tons of clubs and activities, plus volunteering and work experiences all over the city and campus. But as far as one of my favorite events we have of the year, it's called the World's Fair. This is very similar to a college fair, but every table represents a different country with food from their homeland. So bon appetit. One of my other favorite things about AUP are the study trips. These are where students travel all over the world with their professor and classmates to experience what they're learning in the classroom in person. Shakespeare in London, psychology in Cairo, film in the Netherlands, and politics in Israel are some of our most recent trips. We also offer cultural excursions, which are non-academic trips mainly throughout France, ranging from a theater performance or perfume making class in Paris to visiting cities or regions like Normandy and Nice for the weekend. Housing is a bit unique compared to most universities. Instead of a dorm with the RA and the meal plan, we have a housing office that will find and furnish the residences for our students. So essentially they come move-in ready. All students bring with them are clothing and toiletries. The housing also varies by price and distance from campus and roommate selection. So just stay tuned for more information once you would confirm attendance at AUP, but they do come with kitchen areas. So you'd be able to make your own meals instead of eating at a giant cafeteria. To apply to AUP, you would submit the common application or apply to AUP directly. These are all of the application requirements. Our average GPA is 3.3 unweighted, but there's not a required GPA to apply to AUP. Along with that, we are test optional, but the average SAT is 1265, average ACT is 30. We accept applications for both the fall and the spring, but I have the fall highlighted here since we have the majority of applications coming for fall entry. Overall, we begin to review those files in mid-November, and from that point forward, you should hear an admissions response within a couple of weeks. This is the cost of attendance, with the grand total being around 50,000 euros per year, but that's all inclusive. So tuition, housing, food, transportation, et cetera, et cetera. When you apply to AUP, you'll be considered for the Global Citizen Scholarship automatically. This is a merit award, but if you'd like to apply for more financial aid, you can fill in FAFSA and the AUP aid application to be considered for the tuition and scholar awards, which are need merit combination. All in all, the highest award covers 75% of tuition, and the average award covers 1/3 of tuition. And we offer an IB diploma scholarship. So if you've received that, you would receive the IB scholarship or the combination of the other three, whichever is higher. We have 20,000 alumni in 145 countries all over the world. So if you're looking for a global career, we could be an amazing starting point for you. 94% of our students have a job or are in grad school within 1 year of graduation. 80% report an international element to their career, and 50% report that a professor personally helped them on their career path. Once more, I'm Jen Boucher with the American University of Paris. I'm also your counselor who's based in California, so much closer than Paris, France, at least to help you get through the admissions process. There's my email address plus a QR code if you'd like more information, and merci for your time.
Thank you, Jen. My apologies again, you all. That was Jen from American University of Paris. Hopefully, University of Melbourne will be joining us a little bit later. Next up, we have Temple University, Japan. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Nathan Crown, and I'm the Director of Overseas Admissions here at Temple University, Japan campus. We offer the unique opportunity for you to come and study your US degree in the heart of Tokyo, Japan. A fascinating city and an amazing country. Great culture, great food, and a great place to study your degree. Temple University is a large state school on the East Coast in Philadelphia, and they opened this branch campus in Tokyo back in the 80s. So we've been providing opportunities for students from around the world to come and study here in Japan for many, many years. Studying at American University in Japan offers you a familiar curriculum if you're coming from the US high school or college. You can transfer from college and bring your credits over. We also give credit for AP, IB, and A-level curriculum as well. And as you can see, Temple University is ranked very high on the world university rankings as well. Our main campus is over in Philadelphia, as I mentioned, Japan campus here in Tokyo, and then we also have a campus in Rome, Italy, for study abroad options, as well as many different university partners around the world for you to go and study abroad and see other parts of the world and really enhance your degree. So you can come and do the full 4 years in Tokyo, you can transfer in, you can go to our other campuses or one of our partners. So you really have a lot of options, and I encourage you to take that up. In Tokyo, we are located in a part of Tokyo called Setagaya-ku Sangenja, which is just 5 minutes from one of Tokyo's most famous places called Shibuya. And Shibuya is commonly known as the Times Square of Tokyo. So you're just 2 stations from there on the train, 5 minutes, very close to all the action. Around the university, many shops, restaurants, cafes, entertainment options as well, parks, plenty of things to do. Tokyo is a pretty flat city, so riding a bike is very common, walking around as well. And, you know, Tokyo is one of the world's best transportation systems. So you don't need a car, you can catch the train anywhere. and it's such an easy place to explore. Statistically very safe, also a very clean city as well. So really is a great place to study. A typical day, you have classes in the morning. You may have a part-time job as well while you're studying here. You might have an internship as part of your program where you get some real work experience at a company or organization, including some of the embassies here in Tokyo. And then we have a whole range of activities and events for students to participate on, whether that's climbing Mount Fuji in the summer, or going to watch a sumo match, or participating in other cultural activities. So many things you can do to have fun and make friends and see the country while you're a student. And they're subsidized, so it's a cost-effective way to do that as well. Our main campus in Philadelphia has 40,000 students, a big school. And when you do graduate from the Japan campus, you are graduating from Temple University, so that's important. But our campus in Tokyo is nice and small, about 1,300 students from all over the world. So it's a very diverse student body, and everybody studies together. We don't have international domestic students. You're also studying with Japanese students. There's about 40% Japanese students on campus, and the common language is English. So there's no language barrier, but you can certainly study Japanese as part of your program. These are the majors we offer here on the screen now, 10 different programs. International Business Studies being the largest program. An American degree gives you the flexibility to change a major or double major or major minor. You can come in undeclared as well if you're not quite sure exactly what you want to study. So you did that flexibility as well. We often see students double major with something in Japanese to cover both bases. If you're interested in working in Japan after graduating, then getting your Japanese up to business level is going to be key to that as well. In summer 2019, we moved to a brand new campus, and we have a purpose-built building now for us, outdoor space, access to gym and pool, and we're collaborating with our neighbors, Showa Women's University, and students can use many of the facilities there as well, including cafeteria and sports facilities. So although we're a very small campus community, you do have access to those large university facilities. The one thing about having a small campus means small class sizes. So our average is just 21, which means a much more personal and interactive classroom experience than you would get at a large university with 100 or so people in a lecture hall together. Students in their first semester guaranteed a dormitory room. Our main dormitory in Masashiko Sugi, about 50 minutes from campus. You get your own bedroom and bathroom. It's really nice. Cafeteria as well, kitchen space, etc. There's also a homestay opportunity as well if you want to live with a Japanese family for the semester and really immerse yourself in the culture. And that's a great way to improve the Japanese language as well. Tuition itself is on par with many in-state schools, and it's significantly less than the average out-of-state tuition of public and private schools. So it can be less expensive to come to Japan than it is to go out of state. I'm just going to finish up in a moment. We have a very good job success rate for our students, including that internship program as well, which often leads to jobs. You can apply to the university on our website or through the common application. Either is fine, or whatever is more convenient for yourself. Deadlines, if you are still interested in fall, the deadline is May 14th. We have rolling admissions and 3 semester entry programs. And that's it for me. I hope to see you in Tokyo very soon.
Thank you so much, Nathan. That was awesome. Reminder that you can use the Q&A whenever you would like to. I know that we have a couple using that Q&A, so feel free to use it whenever you would like. Next up, we have Consulate General of Canada. Take it away. Sorry, Karen, you are actually muted.
Sorry about this.
There you go.
Welcome to Education in Canada. My name is Karen Palmarini. I'm the academic coordinator at the Canadian Consulate in Denver, Colorado. Yes, we have our office in Denver. Please take a screenshot of my emails and you will be able to email me if you have any question related to study in Canada. Tonight, I'm going to focus on the advantages to study in Canada and what you need to know to start the process. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. It's the second largest country in the world. So why study in Canada? There is endless possibilities. Did you know that about 500,000 of international students choose Canada as their study destination? Vast open spaces, diverse people, plenty of opportunities available to students who wants to live, work, and study there. When you study in Canada, you invest in your future. Why? Because you have the possibility of after your studies to extend your visa permit to either pursue your study or find a job in Canada. A Canadian institution opened the door to employment and business opportunities and life in Canada after studies. Your Canada's university degrees and college diploma are recognized worldwide, meaning that once you graduate in Canada, you either can come back to the US and study more or find a job opportunity or stay in Canada as well, or also travel around the world and be able to find a job there. Canada's vibrant research community is also a big draw. Even undergraduate students have access to research lab and work with leader world scientists and researcher. You will enjoy the same freedom as Canadian, meaning respect for human rights, equality, and a stable, peaceful society. You will feel safe, secure, and welcome. Many Canadian institutions have launched a virtual tour to visit the campuses. So I invite you to explore campus tours across Canada, where you will discover maybe your future campus. I have listed here the 15 research universities. There are prestigious schools in Canada. However, there is many more to choose from. Canada has more than 100 universities and colleges. So no matter where you want to study and what you want to study in Canada, Canada has a perfect match for each student. All Canadian institutions adapted their learning environment to accommodate a virtual setting, especially under COVID. And hopefully the campuses in Canada will reopen their border for international students to study there. Education in Canada, so high quality education. Canada ranked third for education and first for quality of life. It's a world-class collaborative and work research and development. The competitive cost of living as well, and competitive cost of tuition. If you're an student who is looking to study out of states, Canada has a really competitive tuition and cost of living to offer. Studying in Canadian institution offer different options. You either can apply to universities, like the regular common path, or also for more applied hands-on studies, such as colleges, institutes, polytechnics, similar to community colleges. You can also find pathway after a college or polytechnic diploma or certificate to join the university. You also have career college and vocational trainings. So at the universities of Canada, there is 15,000 undergraduates and graduate program to choose from at more than 100 universities. So it goes from large research intensive university to smaller undergraduate campuses. The professors are really caring and supportive, and the equipment and technology are really cut edge. Also to mention that in Canada, you have the possibility to access co-op education, meaning that you can gain work experience at some company and have access to paid internship. So it's really advantageous, especially when you may be able to get a job opportunity at the end of your degree. Few examples of field of studies: business and administration, engineering and technology, and science and biotechnology. But if you're interested in archaeology, psychology, it can be veterinarian studies, anything is available for you in Canada. So I talk about college and Institute of Technology. 90% of those colleges are, once you graduate, really you get employed. Canada is officially bilingual, so if you need a boost, to boost your French skills, Canada offers many programs in many accredited schools. So where to begin? Really, educanada.ca is your tool of choice, where you're going to be able to identify university or college program, and also make sense of the program cost for you. Applications are usually from September to February for the next year. Provinces have their own standard application, or university may have their own individual application. If you have any question, please apply online at cic.gc.ca, and also you can contact me directly. So this is my email address one more time. So reach me if you have any question. I'm here for you. We can have a call together, and I'm based in Denver. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next institution, which is the London Metropolitan University. So I believe that is Megan. So take it away, Megan, whenever you are ready.
Great. Let me just get my presentation pulled up. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. It's really great to be in a StriveScan session with all of these international universities, because they're really speaking about countries and cities that are so exciting for US students to consider. And I think anyone who drops into this session already has kind of an off the beaten path track in mind for doing college overseas. So that's really exciting. So I'm going to speak about the option to go to the United Kingdom, to the UK. And so London Metropolitan University is located in the heart of central London. We have 2 campuses, which I will speak about, with about 10,000 students. And I just want to go back to my contact details here quickly. I jumped the gun on that. My name is Megan Godding. I am the Senior International Officer for London Met in North America. I am based in Connecticut, and my partner Jadon is based in LA. So we're both here to support you if you decide you want to apply to London Met or want more information. We do a lot of one-to-one sessions, info sessions, Zoom calls, phone calls. I actually just moved from Denver, where I had been living for about 4 years. And so I'm totally missing the Rocky Mountains and life out west. But I am back east with my family now, and I'd be happy to connect with anyone out west at this time. So again, London Met has 2 campuses in central London. I like to think of it as kind of our right brain and left brain campus, because one is very much our creative arts campus, and the other is very much sciences, business, IT, social sciences. And I'll dig into each campus and the programs that we offer a little bit later. But again, about 10,000 students, and we represent over 147 nationalities across our student body, staff, and faculty. So we are one of the most diverse universities in the UK, and we really pride ourselves on that. There's really a home for everyone, and it's this incredible global community. I go over to London Met a couple times a year, and I just love going to our international orientation and events, because truly your best friends are from all over the world. And this would really be the case if you attended any of the universities who are in the presentation tonight. It really will expand your horizons like maybe nothing you've experienced in the US up to this stage. We offer 3-year bachelor's degrees and 1-year master's degrees. So you could come study with us for 4 years and come out with a master's degree. Our approximate tuition is about $18,000 US per year, depending on your program. It does range a little bit course to course. So some might be a bit less, some may be up to about $20,000 per year. And then the cost of living, it probably comes out to around $50,000 US for your whole life, flights back and forth to the US. your groceries, etc. But it really is going to depend on how you budget. If you decide to do a lease that's a full academic year or a full calendar year. So a lot of factors that I work with students on when they're planning with their families before moving over. We do offer international student scholarships, and we accept US financial aid and veterans benefits as well. I do have some active veterans on campus right now. Again, we have a really diverse population on campus, and we've been working to increase our American population in particular. So I've started a new student ambassador and alumni network for students to kind of have those transatlantic ties, whether they decide to stay in London and work after getting their degree with the UK's post-study work visa, which is a 2-year work visa that international students can apply for after finishing a bachelor's or master's degree in the UK, or if they decide to come back to the US and want to network with the London Met community on this side of the pond. An alumni that we're really proud of is the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. And so here is him posing in front of the Tower Bridge. You can actually walk to this spot on the Thames River from our campus at Aldgate, which is our arts campus, our School of Art, Architecture and Design. But he's a real proponent for students from all over the world coming to London. And it's voted kind of repeatedly in QS World Rankings and a lot of other blogs and sites and magazines and newspapers, #1 student city in the world, because there's so many international students that come from all over the world to London. So it truly is not just a British city, it's a global city. And I was an international student in London myself, which is why I love doing this job, because now that I'm back in the States, it's easy for me to be able to help students transition over there. I did live there for about 7 years, so I'm always happy to answer any questions on that transition, cost of living, and how you adapt to life in the UK. Quickly, why should students consider full degrees in the UK? A lot of the same points that were made by other universities tonight. It can often be more affordable to go to college abroad than to go out of state or to private institutions in the US. And so that's an option that I think a lot of US students don't really recognize or know about. So our tuition and fees can often be more affordable. The accelerated degree options to get your bachelor's degree in 3 years, being eligible to be apply for US or international student scholarships as a US student, and to apply for US financial aid through FAFSA if you're planning to take that route. London Metropolitan University has rolling admissions and no application fee. So we'll be taking applications into this summer for our September 2021 start date. We also have a January start date if anyone wants to take some time off after graduating and maybe start in January, but our bigger intake does start each September. So we'll open up applications for September 2022 in the fall, and they'll really go throughout the year. You can apply on UCAS. So if you Google that, it's capital UCAS, and that is like the UK Common App, similar to the US Common App. And let me just buzz through a few slides here. Quickly, our Holloway Road campus has a lot of programs in business, sciences, and social sciences. And our School of Art, Architecture, and Design that I spoke of has programs in the arts, theater, fashion, photography, and creative writing. So you can get in touch with me. Sorry, I'm buzzing through here a little bit, but you can get in touch with me to learn about our entry requirements and come to one of my info sessions with more details. And you can take a screenshot of my contact details here, and I hope to be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. That was really great. And then last, we have our last institution from Duke Kunshan University. Kunshan? Whenever you're ready, go for it.
My name is Lindsay, and I'm a global recruitment officer for Duke Kunshan University, which is Duke University's new joint venture university in China. Essentially, what we're offering is like a Duke Education 2.0 taught in English in China to top international students from all around the world. You don't need to know any Chinese language at all to apply or get in because it is taught in English, but it is the required foreign language for at least 2 years once students arrive. As a joint venture university, we are operated between 3 partners. The first is Duke University, which most years is ranked in the US top 10, worldwide top 20. Our second partner is Wuhan University, which is one of China's top 10. Our students study on both campuses, meaning at Duke Kunshan in China and at Duke University in the US, and earn 2 degrees. Our third partner is the city of Kunshan. It's one of the greenest and wealthiest cities per capita in all of China. So this is where our campus is located. From here, it's about 21 minutes on the high-speed train to Shanghai, which is one of the largest and most international hubs, not only in China, but in all of Asia. We are also near places like this in China's historic water towns. So not only do our students have easy access to all the modern amenities in the big cities, they can also go to places like this that have retained a bit more of the history and traditions of historical China. Our students tend to come to Duke University during either the fall or spring of the junior year as part of our flagship study away. There's also an option to add on a consecutive summer term. While at Duke, our students live on campus. They get to choose from a wide menu of courses offered at Duke, participate in clubs and activities, and pretty much have as much as the full Duke experience as is possible in one semester and a summer. And as I mentioned before, they do graduate with 2 degrees, a Chinese degree conveyed by Duke Kunshan University and a US bachelor's degree from Duke. We are an American-style, research-oriented liberal arts and sciences university, taking an innovative, practical, and global approach to higher education. Our student demographics are very different from what you would typically find in the US. We're aiming for about 60% Chinese nationals, 40% international, and of that 40%, about half come from the US. The other half come from all over the globe. So even though we just launched in 2018 and only have our first 3 classes enrolled, we already have over 50 different countries and nationalities represented. When we are running at full capacity, we'll be about 2,000 undergraduates total, plus 5 graduate programs. Here's a quick look at our majors. They are all interdisciplinary dual majors that are pre-packaged together, much like double majors. In general, you can find great preparatory majors for international relations, diplomacy, international business, STEM fields, economics, poli-sci. There's so much on the table here. We are teaching on 2 7-week mini-mesters where our students take just 2 classes at a time and get to do deep dives where they can focus much better than juggling 5 classes at one time every week. Also, every Friday is set aside for experiential learning outside the classroom. So that can mean clubs, sports, research, internship, volunteering, and some really wonderful field trips to explore different parts of China. Our dorms are the best I've ever seen anywhere. They're all brand new, very spacious, and really nice. Our tuition is currently just under $57,000 per year. It is tied to Duke universities, so it's on par from what you might expect for private university tuition. But the cost of housing, meals, and travel is actually about $10,000 lower per year than what the College Board recommends that you would budget if you were living and feeding yourself as a college student in the US. The good news is over 80% of our US and international students are currently receiving reduced tuition through scholarships and financial aid. And those packages do go up to 100% tuition coverage for all 4 years. Also, if you apply to DKU and you get in, we will fly you to China in late April, where you can stay on campus for a 4-day long weekend, tour campus, tour the local area, take sample classes, meet your future classmates, and basically see, does this feel like a good fit for you? And this all happens before the deadline to decide whether or not to commit. So if you would like us to keep in touch and send you a few emails and a nice, super soft, wonderful DKU t-shirt, please scan the QR code and sign up at the link. This does work for about 2 weeks after this info session. So if you're watching the recording, go ahead and try this at home as well. Again, my name is Lindsay Parker, and we look forward to meeting you at Duke Kunshan University. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all to our presenters for tonight. I'm actually going to invite our presenters to come back on screen, and we are going to do a little bit of some question and answer. We will start in a kind of round robin way. We'll just start from our first presenter and then go all the way to our last one, and then we will kind of just keep going with some questions. So the first question that I have, here we go, I'll share it on our screen, is what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we can go ahead and start with, I believe, Jen.
Yeah, so especially in regards to studying abroad, most students study abroad for 1 semester, but the schools you heard from today are 6 to 8 times the amount of exposure to a different culture, country, currency, and language, since you'll be studying for several years, not just 1 semester. So I highly recommend studying abroad longer than that typical 1 semester so you can more fully immerse yourself in a new culture and have other opportunities for travel and internships.
Yeah, echoing what Jen said, definitely studying abroad for your full degree is going to offer a much more richer experience. Yeah, in general, for the college search process, often thinking about going overseas, you think about the finance and the cost is going to be actually more, but it can be a lot less expensive actually than some out-of-state schools in the US. So do look at that. But also in general, start the process early. Don't leave things to the last minute.
I would say that if a student is looking to prospect to study abroad, has to really start a conversation with a lot of other students who have had the experience, not necessarily the country where they want to go, not the same destination, but you have to like surround yourself with people who have had this experience. I'm talking about alumni, talking about checking with their maybe a nearby embassy, or talk to their counselors, talk to the siblings of your friends as well who are oldest and have had this experience. So that's my take on it. And visit the useful website. Usually there are, great website with great, there is videos, there is tips, there is a wealth of information. Don't be overwhelmed by, all those great tools, because they're here for a good reason. To help.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what everyone else said, as you've attended the overseas campus session tonight, really think outside the box. Don't be afraid to try a bigger adventure than you might have had in mind. It's still not as culturally common for American students to consider going to college overseas. The semester study abroad model is still the most popular and a great way of experience the world. I would never put down doing a study abroad semester, but like everyone said here, getting to go over and actually live there, be a resident, participate in the healthcare system, the work, have a work experience there. It's such a different thing to be there long term. And don't put up barriers by social pressures around you to think of the reasons why you can't do this. We're all here and we're counselors who can advise you on how you can do this, how this can be affordable, how this can be possible. And you still can go back to the US if you're going to be homesick during breaks. There's a lot of ways that you can make this work, just the same as if you were going out of state. So don't put up barriers for yourself. It's part of the international adventure.
Very similar to what my colleagues have said. If you are finding yourself drawn to the idea of going to university overseas, just do it. There's really going to be no better time in your life for most people to take the plunge and move overseas. The further along you get, you start moving forward in your career, you might have a family, buy a house, have pets, and it gets a lot harder to make that move. And conversely, if you are going for university, you have this whole support network, not only of the staff and faculty who can help you with the culture shock and acclimation, but also a lot of peers who are going through the same thing as you are or went through it, 1 or 2 years before when they were freshmen. I personally moved to Japan, having never even taken a vacation there before in my life. And then I did the same thing with China. And those were absolutely, they've been some of the very best years of my adult life. And I would move back in a heartbeat. So I really encourage you to be brave and take the chance.
Awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. I think we have time for one more question. One more question, excuse me. This one is actually my favorite question. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus? And we can start with you again, Jen.
Great. Well, I mentioned the World's Fair during the presentation, but another one of my favorite events on campus is our annual Thanksgiving potluck dinner. So every year on Thanksgiving, students do have class because they get French holidays off, but have class on American holidays. But we do celebrate with a giant potluck dinner with hundreds of faculty, staff, and students who gather and all bring various cranberry sauces, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, that traditional American Thanksgiving food, and we feast.
We have a community day, and that's when we invited the community around our area to come and experience the campus. We had restaurants and cafes set up stalls, and it was a chance for the local Japanese community to interact with many of our students from overseas and vice versa, and that's a great opportunity for both to experience both cultures. So we're really proud of that. So we like to do those kind of events on campus, and we hope you can be part of that.
For Canada, every institution going to have their own event and tradition, and I will invite the international students to get outside their comfort zone and their culture and get involved, participate, be curious, even volunteer in other departments who are celebrating their other culture. And I'm also thinking of First Nation culture, all the other tradition outside of yours, and other international students who comes, because it's a mosaic of so different rich variety of what other identity and nationality has to offer. So get outside, get involved, be curious, engage.
Something I love that we do at London Met every year is we have a business incubator on campus called the Accelerator. And so any student who has a business idea, and they don't have to be a business student, it could be a photography student, a marketing student, anybody in our entire university can put forth a proposal to get their business funded. And we have a culminate in this awards night every year called the Big Idea Challenge. You can Google London Met's Big Idea Challenge. And last year we had to do it virtual, and this year we will as well because of the pandemic. But it's like the Oscars. So I guess just watching the Academy Awards last night made me think of our virtual Big Idea Challenge and all these students who get their business ideas started to launch businesses in central London after they graduate. And everyone gets dressed up fancy and goes to a snazzy venue in central London in most years. So that's a really cool thing that we do.
For many of you, if you have already heard and gotten familiar with Duke University, I expect that possibly your first entry to Duke was through sports and watching our amazing basketball team on the courts play the North Carolina Tar Heels, which is usually the two biggest events of the year. And so even though Duke Kunshan University is all the way in China, we still put up a huge screen and gather all the students together and have a huge basketball watch party where we can all cheer for the Duke Blue Devils. So that's one of my favorite events.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing those. It has been wonderful having you all here tonight. I'm just going to share just a couple of reminders for you guys. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We would really appreciate your feedback, any feedback that you can provide. This was also just one of the mini sessions being hosted. So just a reminder that you can sign up for more. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/RMACAC. That is RMACAC. Thank you all and have a great night. See ya.
Thank you. Have a good night.